Welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. The tailgate show for the tailgaters. Done by the not-so-ready for primetime pickers. Hosted by the Lunch Eaters Man of the Year and legendary broadcaster Bill Bubba Bussey. You only thought you knew college football. Call Mama Moon and saddle up for a football experience. Now, here's Bubba.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. You've heard us talking about it. Well, it's live. We are now ready to tailgate, and we want to invite all the tailgaters who are headed that way. Now, this is a little bit of an experiment. It's going to be a work in progress, so we ask that you bear with us. But together, I think we can have a lot of fun. Right out of the gate, let me introduce the other members of the show. I start with the number 2 seat, and that is my son, Hunter Bussey. Hunter, welcome to the program.
Hey, Dad, I'm glad to be here.
You know, Hunter, I was very glad to have you and select you because you are my favorite son.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Last time I checked, I'm your only son. I don't have a brother that I know of.
That is correct also. But hey, nepotism is alive and well. We go around to the number 3 seat. He's a longtime friend, Nathan Hall. Nathan, welcome.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
Now, Nathan is a former intern on the Pat Dye Show. He's also a member of the Indianapolis Independent Sports Network, whatever that is. Nathan, we're glad to have you on the show.
I'm excited to be here. The Indianapolis Independent Sports Network, it's a massive multimedia conglomerate focusing on the greatest city in the United States of America, Indianapolis. I've been the janitor for the last 3.5 years. I was recently promoted to president and CEO through sort of a Goodwill Hunting type situation. And we're doing big things, but I'm excited to be here talking about college football.
Well, Nathan, I wouldn't look a gift job in the mouth for sure. And our special guest picker this week, and we are so glad that he has joined us on the first episode because this will either be a great trivia question one day or it will be the beginning of the end of his career. He's a household name in sports radio around the state. He was an unofficial intern on the Rick and Bubba show for many years when his mom had to drive him down and drop him off. You hear him now on the Auburn Network. Please welcome Brad Law. Brad, welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Guys, thank you very much. I'm so honored to be in the number 4 chair for this, and I understand that the reason that I am number 4 is because there was no number 5, and so we're very happy to be here, and we're excited to take part in this today.
Well, Brad, we thought at least one member of this should actually know what they're talking about. So we'll depend on you to actually bring some facts to this zoo already. All right, here is our question of the week that we need to break down, and that is last year, according to published reports, Ohio State had the highest payroll in terms of NIL, around $20 million, and they ended up winning the national championship. This year, according to published reports, Texas is going to have the highest NIL payroll, around $40 million. Does payroll mean championships? Will we see a national championship in Austin? And where does this madness end? I'm going to go in reverse order and go back to our guest picker, Brad Law, the Auburn Network. Brad, what do you say?
I'll say this, Bubba. I think if Texas is not in the playoff, if they're not one of the top 3 teams in the SEC, I'll be very surprised. I mean, a lot of it hinges on quarterback play. Is Arch Manning the guy? Is he ready to take 100% of the snaps and kind of wear all the pressure that comes with that? And I think payroll in today's college football age means talent, and so much of success. And like, it's really not as much about player development, even because some of these guys are only with you for 1 or 2 years, or scheme, as it is just having the most talent. And so money gets you talent. I'm not, obviously I won't come on and say Texas should be the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing, but I think it would be a massive mishandling of that roster if they're not in the playoff.
Brad, let me further ask you. You mentioned Arch Manning, probably one of the most celebrated recruits we've had in quite some time. He's been sitting the bench for 2 years behind Ewers at quarterback, who everybody thought was going to be one of the top picks in the draft. Didn't go as high as everybody thought he would. What does that say about Arch Manning sitting the bench behind him?
That's a good question too. I mean, Ewers, maybe he just wasn't as built for an NFL roster. Although I thought he was probably underappreciated in college. I think it says more about the talent around him at Texas than anything else. And Arch will benefit from that same thing. I mean, they have 5-star monsters on the offensive line, 5-star monsters on the defensive line. They have All-American type receivers and safeties, and that's kind of the name of the game today. If you have playmakers at receiver and safety, and you just have big monsters on the offensive and defensive line, you're going to win a bunch of games. Despite how, I mean, look, we've seen teams take game manager after game manager and win 10 games a season. You don't have to be spectacular if there's enough talent at other positions, and I think Texas has that.
We go to Nathan Hall. Nathan, what about it?
I agree with Brad. I think the quarterback has sort of become the focal point of the sort of current college football landscape. Texas, as far as we know, is paying Arch in the neighborhood of $6.8 million, which is about 17% of their total NIL budget. Will Howard at Ohio State last year got paid about 6%. So Texas, Sark is definitely putting all of his eggs sort of in the Arch Manning basket, so to speak. So how Arch pans out, I think, is going to have a lot to do with Texas's success. In terms of how this affects college football going forward, how I see it playing out, I love the way Coach Freeze at Auburn has prioritized maintaining the current locker room. And he talked a lot about that in July. When you've got guys like Malcolm Simmons and Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson, obviously our recruiting class, or Auburn's recruiting class, rather, is going to look a little bit less impressive than a lot of these other schools because they're making promises to players that they might not necessarily be able to follow through on, especially due to the new salary cap, so to speak, in college football. So I think the schools that focus on prioritizing current talent are going to have a little bit of an advantage. Texas has definitely put a lot of faith in Arch. 17%, their entire NIL budget is a lot. And it's just going to kind of come down to, can he handle the pressure of being the guy? I also agree with Brad that Quinn Ewers was greatly underappreciated at Texas, especially in moments like we saw against Arizona State, where he just was as clutch as can be. So I don't think Arch sitting behind Ewers is sort of a negative sign when it comes to Arch. I think he has the talent. I think he has the potential, and Texas is loaded with weapons. So I do think Texas is going to be one of the front runners. We're going to learn a lot, obviously, in that week one matchup against Ohio State.
August the 30th, they go to Ohio State.
Yeah, mark your calendars, because that's going to be one of the games of the year, and we're going to learn a lot about both of those teams. But I have faith in Arch based on everything I've seen. I think he is going to be the guy, and $6.8 million, Texas certainly seems to think so.
Hunter, we go to you. Will a championship be sitting in Austin when the season's over?
It wouldn't shock me if it was. We saw kind of glimpses of Arch in that Georgia game whenever they would put him in certain packages. And then when Ewers got hurt, I can't remember what point of the season it was. I want to say it was pretty early. But, the times that he was in there, Texas fans were saying, hey, this is what we've been waiting on, and we're ready to see it. And so, some fans of Texas, who I have a friend of mine that's a Texas fan, was saying, yeah, I kind of like Arch in there to stay in there. I said, no, you want Ewers back because he's going to lead you to the playoff. But he was like, I don't know, man. Arch is moving the ball pretty well when he's been in there, and it wouldn't shock me if him at the helm, that they're pretty dominant on offense. Now, where I think they'll get snagged is it's not, in this day and age of NIL, people can keep up. All it takes is, a team to say, like, you know what, I don't think they're expecting us to, do anything on offense, but our defense, the SEC is no cakewalk, and Texas knows that. They almost won the championship last year. It literally came down to, I think, didn't it go to overtime, if I'm not mistaken, last year? Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I can't remember Georgia. That far back.
But I really do think that if Texas does not, kind of what Brad was saying, is one of the top 3 teams and is in the conversation, and this would be a generational fumble in terms of the NIL era of college football, because they're throwing a lot of money, and this is that Texas oil money we're talking about. They don't play out there in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, and it would be a generational fumble if they do not make it at least to deep in the playoff, or if not at all.
Well, we'll see if that oil money buys a championship or not, and we will find out pretty early. Is one of the first game, August the 30th, and I'm showing it as an 11 a.m. kickoff. Texas and Ohio State, number 1, number 2, great way to start the season, and I think we will answer a lot of questions pretty early. We'll be right back as we will go ahead and start picking the games and looking at these games and how big they are on the Tailgate Tailgate Show right after this.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you. Which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, and decals, and more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels, your dependable printer for all types of industries. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels. 800-741-7055 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
We're back on the Tailgate Tailgate Show. It is installment and episode number 1. So if you're listening to this, remember, you're a part of history. All right, guys, let's look at some of the games. We mentioned it last segment. We cannot start talking about games without going and looking at Texas going to Ohio State to kick the season off on August the 30th. It's 11 a.m. kick. Hunter Buss, I'll head back your way this time. Who's going to win this one?
I have Texas in this game. I know it is a road game in Ohio State. That's a tough environment. The fact that it's an 11 a.m. kick for that quality of a game should be a war crime, but that's a segment for another time. But I have Texas in this game by about 10 points.
Nathan, what do you think?
I'm going to take Texas by 3. I respect Ohio State, obviously, given the season they've just come off of. They're in the middle of a quarterback battle between Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz. It's close in the spring, but Arch Manning it's Arch Manning. He's got the swag. He's got the name. He has a lot more experience than either of those two. Give me Texas by 3.
Brad, what do you say?
I'm going to be the contrarian on the bunch. That's kind of my nature anyway, so that I'm going to be on brand here. I think Ohio State playing at home, I think their defense is going to dial up some they'll dial up enough to throw Arch Manning off enough. It's not a wide margin between these two teams. I think 1 versus 2, the intrigue, the talent, the preparation, like everybody's dialed in and focused all August long for their preparation. But at the end of the day, home field counts a little bit. And I think Ohio State gets its season off to a winning start. So give me the Buckeyes by 3.
Brad, I'm with you. Texas may very well end up being the national champion or playing for it, but I don't think out of the gate, I think you're asking a lot to go to Ohio State and be your first start. So I'm going to say the Buckeyes by 7. I think it'll be a close game, but I would not bet against the Buckeyes at home. All right, we'll close that one and look to LSU going to Clemson. This will be a matchup of teams that will have a color contrast that will hurt you on TV. We will have a yellow and an orange playing each other, which might be a little bit tough. Brad, we'll go your way this time. What do you think?
I'm going to take the home team again. Or no, wait a minute. Is this at Clemson or is this in a neutral site? I don't remember. But either way, I don't like LSU in first games of seasons. Now, Clemson has laid some eggs against SEC teams in first games of years too. But I like, and you got a couple of really good quarterbacks here in Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik. So I just don't like LSU in these opening games. So give me Clemson. I feel like I'm going to be in the minority with that pick, but give me the purple and orange Tigers over the purple and gold Tigers.
Nathan, what do you say?
Brian Kelly's welcome to LSU interview at halftime of one of the basketball games when he did his LSU is all about family, fake Southern accents. It was gross. It was weird. It was enough to make me never support Brian Kelly again. Give me Clemson. I get that Dabo Swinney doesn't want to spend a lot of money. He's not big on the transfer portal, but I respect the fact that he wants to keep it old school. I don't have any faith in Brian Kelly. LSU's performance against USC to open last year's season was horrific. Give me Clemson. Clemson by 10.
Hunter, what do you say?
So I've been back and forth about this game. I like to stick with SEC when I can, but with them playing in the environment at Clemson, it's at night. It's going to be a crazy environment, I'm sure. Dabo will have that home crowd absolutely riled up. Give me Clemson by 2 touchdowns.
I will give you the fact LSU at times has looked like a dumpster fire, but I still think Clemson has been on a little bit of a lull the last few years. I just think LSU is going to have more athletes. I don't think a fired up crowd at night is going to affect them that much, and I hate to pick against the SEC most of the time. I like Dabo Swinney, I really do, but I think the LSU Tigers out of the SEC will win that one in a close matchup. Now, another game that is of intrigue here right out of the gate will be Notre Dame going to Miami. This is a rebirth of the Catholics versus the Convicts game. What do you think about this one, Nathan? I'll let you have first shot at it.
I'm going to have to go with the Catholics here. I think Marcus Freeman has done a good job kind of building up this Notre Dame team. He did well in some of his bigger games. The 23-10 against Georgia, the 27-24 against Penn State, those were kind of his marquee moments last year. But then there's the Northern Illinois game, and that one's hard to look past because that just kind of shows a lack of preparation to me. I don't know how it's even possible to drop a game like that when you're Notre Dame. I just don't understand it at all. Their quarterback situation is a little shaky. It's between two guys that seem kind of neck and neck to me. But Miami has shown me no reason to go with them. I don't think they're clutch. I don't think Mario Cristobal is that good of a coach. That Georgia Tech fumble situation that happened recently kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Miami. I'm going to have to go with the Catholics in this one.
Hunter, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm going to run with the Catholics on this one as well by a touchdown. I think they are going to be on a revenge tour to get back to the national championship game after what happened against Ohio State. And with Miami, they're going to have to replace Cam Ward with the former Georgia quarterback, Carson Beck. And I just don't see that panning out for them at all. I feel like they lost too much, and especially with someone like Cam Ward that can extend the play like he could. I just don't see them beating Notre Dame. I really don't. So give me Notre Dame by 7.
Brad?
Yeah, I like Notre Dame here too. I think Marcus Freeman is one of the more underrated, as weird as it is for a Notre Dame coach to be underrated, because Brian Kelly was so overrated, I thought, for a long time when he was a Notre Dame coach. Marcus Freeman has been underrated during his time there. I believe in what he's built. I think if Carson Beck, if Georgia had wanted to keep Carson Beck, they would have. But they found him expendable enough to let him get away. And so, he's not Cam Ward, and I don't think he can beat Notre Dame. So give me the Irish.
Well, I'm going to go against the trend here, guys. I'm seeing hurricane flags out there playing in Miami. Beck can be a game manager. If they can get those athletes up and down the field, I would not bet against Miami. And trust me, they will be fired up for a renewal of this. They'll be watching the documentary the night before and ready to make a statement. I'm going with the Hurricanes this time. Mark that down as a possible step out. All right, one other game at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. We're going to see South Carolina and Virginia Tech. Now, this is a unique position for South Carolina. They're actually very hyped up this year. I love Coach Beamer. Met him several years ago, and I am a big fan of his. I'm glad he's doing well. South Carolina in the early polls sitting around number 13. This will be a marquee spotlight game for them to play Virginia Tech in Atlanta. Hunter, what do you say?
Okay, so I've been on note saying, you've heard me say this, I'm a big fan of Beamer ball, and I just think that is going to be too much for Virginia Tech. I think the just overall, like their team build that they're kind of building off of last year with their quarterback, with Sellers. I think he has the opportunity this year to really show out, and I think he will do just that in this game against Virginia Tech. Give me the Gamecocks.
Brad, what do you say?
I'm actually gonna take Virginia Tech here, and this is more of a. I think I'm just trying to shock people, maybe than what I really believe. I like Lenora Sellers. I think he's tremendous. I think he's a top half SEC quarterback. My question about South Carolina is, can they replace all the defensive talent that they lost a year ago? They were able to put up some points, but it was because their defense allowed them to play with aggression and kind of ahead of the sticks. They were able to play with more momentum or leverage because of what the defense did. And so I just don't know if game one they were able to put all those pieces together. So I think it would be an upset, no question, and I may change my mind right before kickoff. But give me tonight, give me Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. Nathan, what do you think?
I like South Carolina. What was that you said, Hunter? Beamer ball?
Beamer ball.
I like Beamer ball as well. I've got a lot of faith in Shane Beamer. I think he's a great coach. Hot take here. I think Lenora Sellers might be the best quarterback in the SEC. I think Lenora Sellers might be the best quarterback in the SEC. He pops on film. I think he's a great decision maker. He's incredibly athletic. I think the moment's going to be too big for Virginia Tech here, honestly. Interesting, last year they never lost to a team with a losing record, so that's something. But 6-7, I just can't look past the 6-7. I think they're going to be better this year. I don't think they're going to be that much better. And then you put Beamer and Lenora Sellers together, who again I think is phenomenal. I've got to go South Carolina.
If I could add something to this, I've changed my pick because I remembered that Virginia Tech lost their all-conference tackle Xavier Chaplin. He transferred from Virginia Tech to Auburn, so they're replacing a big-time prospect at left tackle. That's probably I think that evens out any question about South Carolina's replacing guys defensively. So I'll go Gamecocks. I've switched just like already
switching. I think the bright lights of Atlanta may be too bright for for Virginia Tech, I should say. Now, far as a game that has a storyline here, you have Shane Beamer ball at South Carolina versus his dad's old Beamer ball team in Virginia Tech. So the Riders will have a field day with this. But I am partial to the Gamecocks. I think South Carolina's line in the fourth quarter will make the difference. Mark me down for a Gamecock win by 10 points. We'll be right back in just a minute, and we'll focus on Auburn, Alabama, and a couple of other state schools in just a minute.
Hey, Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled Cool Wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The Management Advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
We're back. It's the Tailgate Show. I am your host, Bill Bubba Bussey, also from Bubba on the Lake and formerly from the Rick and Bubba Show. I'm joined by a cast of characters, Hunter Bussey, Nathan Hall, and Brad Law from the Auburn Network. Guys, speaking of that, we have Alabama and Auburn we got to look at. Let's look at Alabama first, playing Florida State. This should be a pretty cool matchup on TV. And Hunter, I'll start with you. What do you say?
I had a interesting back and forth with a Florida State fan about this game because he didn't like what I had to say about it, even though Alabama is on the road in this game. And I know, year in and year out, the rosters change and everything, but they won one game last year. And I know they had a terrible quarterback last year. They didn't really have anything going for them. But Alabama is out to prove themselves this year in the second year of Kalen DeBoer at his tenure at the head coaching position. And I think they will win by multiple touchdowns. I don't even think this will be a contest.
Did Florida State, was that last year they only won one game? I can't remember.
That was bad. Yeah, it was
that
last year. It was bad.
Nathan, what do you say?
I really agree with Hunter. Florida State, one win in maybe the worst conference in college football. Alabama post Saban isn't the same Alabama that we're used to, obviously. And it's really going to depend on which version of Alabama shows up. If the version that beat Georgia last year shows up, Florida State loses easily by 4 touchdowns, maybe worse. If the Alabama team that played Vanderbilt shows up, maybe it's a little bit closer. I don't see any scenario. I would almost be willing to bet everything I own, all of my worldly possessions, on Alabama. I mean, I have zero faith in FSU. I think I have as good of a chance of getting struck by lightning or winning the lottery. I legitimately think, what did you say, Hunter, 31-7? It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
It's going to be terrible.
It's going to be illegal. I think I'll say that. What's going to happen to FSU is going to be illegal. The police could get called. There will be multiple emergency personnel on site. It's going to be horrific. I don't know if it'll be televised even.
Brad, what do you say?
My goodness. How do I follow that?
Yeah.
Here's this. You guys know who the offensive coordinator is at Florida State?
Yeah, we heard it's a guy named Gus Malzahn, right?
Yeah, Gus Malzahn. There's some irony there. There's some full circle there.
Yep.
No, the fact of the matter is that Alabama's replacing Milroe with Ty Simpson. They brought in Ryan Grubb, who was going to be the OC last year, was there about 5 minutes, and then went back to Seattle, and now is back in Tuscaloosa. The rosters for these two teams, I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure, quite frankly, on Alabama to win this game because the rosters aren't particularly close. It shouldn't be competitive. If this is a competitive game, it should make Alabama fans really, really nervous for how the rest of the year is going to go. I give Florida State a lot more grace than everybody else I've ever talked to for last year because I think they were done really underhanded after going undefeated and left out of the playoff 2 seasons ago. And I just don't think your preparation and there's nothing you can do as a coach to rally your team after that happens to you. But their rosters aren't close. So, yeah, Alabama should win this game comfortably. If not, it's red flag time.
Yeah. And let me add this too. It doesn't help that I can't remember what his name is, their recent transfer quarterback, and it won't matter what his name is by week 3 because they'll be irrelevant. It doesn't help that he was trash talking, Alabama, and for like 2 days in a row, to give them more fuel and motivation to absolutely wipe them clean on live TV. So we'll see how that game goes. Prayers up to Florida State. It might be a bloodbath out there in Seminole Nation. We'll see.
Well, Gus Malzahn specializes in the hurry-up, no-huddle offense, which, if you've read his book, it is designed to not play football but turn it into a track meet. And he has given Alabama fits with that in the past. I don't know if he can do it with this team, though. And under Nick Saban, Alabama had an incredible record of these big kickoff games, just beating the ever-loving tar out of whoever they played. I think it'll be that way this time, too. I don't care how much of a hurry they're in. I think Alabama will win this one by 3 to 4 touchdowns going away. We will see. Auburn is headed. Go ahead.
I will add this if I can, Bubba. Let me add this, though. Under their previous coach, they would have never, ever, 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 ever lost to Michigan in a non-playoff game. I guess they did lose to him in a playoff game, but they wouldn't have lost to Michigan in a non-playoff game. They wouldn't have lost to Vanderbilt on the road under any circumstances. The roster is still very good, but there is connection to the old coach and the new coach in terms of things still being the same there in Tuscaloosa.
And I hate to point this out, the record of coaches from the great Northwest in the state of Alabama at Alabama or Auburn, not very good. But I'll leave you with that. Auburn goes to Baylor. Well, how do you see this one shake out? And we'll go to the Auburn expert, Brad.
Yeah, I like the way Auburn's constructed. And in year 3 under Hugh Freeze, this was always supposed to be the year that it was kind of put up or shut up time. This was the time. 2 top 10 recruiting classes where they couldn't wait to build through high school, like on the offensive line. They built through the portal. I think up front, offensive line, defensive line, Auburn wins both of those matchups. Their O-line, their D-line, I think, wins those matchups. Baylor has some really good skill players. They have probably a top 20 quarterback in the country in Sawyer Robertson. But Auburn just has playmakers everywhere offensively, and they have young, maturing talent defensively. I like Auburn to win this game. I think it's probably a slugfest in the first half, but then in the second half, Auburn's talent wins out. Now, there's plenty of pressure, no question, on Auburn this year as well, but I like the matchups up front, and that's how you wear teams down and ultimately win games.
Nathan?
I feel about this game the same way Brad kind of spoke about Alabama, FSU. I think we're so much better at every position group. It's going to make Auburn fans incredibly nervous if we don't win by at least 14 points. I think that's kind of the number. Sawyer Robinson at Baylor looks really, really good, and I expect him to have a big game. What makes me the most nervous from the Auburn side of it is we've struggled in years past in the really big, high-pressure bright lights moments. And Friday night, everyone in the nation tuned in Texas, the biggest football state in the country. I feel like it could be a turnover fest from Auburn. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong about that. But I'm going to have faith in what Hugh Freeze has built. I trust our quarterback. I trust the fact that we probably have the best wide receiver room in the country. Ohio State's is up there. I think Texas is up there. I think Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, Malcolm Simmons. It's a phenomenal wide receiver room, better than we've probably ever seen at Auburn. So I'm going to go with Auburn. I'm gonna have faith in Hugh Freeze in week 1 and in sort of his biggest year so far.
Hunter?
Okay, so I think Auburn has this in the bag. There is a lot of pressure. But I think, and everyone, Cam Coleman year 2, everyone's hype on Cam Coleman. I'm excited about Cam Coleman. I'm excited about Jackson Arnold. But I think the key on offense is going to be what I've been calling in the offseason our Swiss Army knife, Eric Singleton from Georgia Tech. He almost by himself beat Georgia last year. They had no answer for him at all on these jet sweeps and these kind of, screen passes where he was getting nearly 9 yards every time they would throw it to him. And I think with our roster, I think he will be the X factor in this game. I expect a lot from him in the season. And kind of what Brad was saying, overall, our roster, is built very well in year 3 under Hugh Freeze. And like Nathan was saying, if we don't win this by 14 points or more, I'd be very shocked. So give me Auburn by 14.
I definitely think the pressure to perform is on Hugh Freeze. He has turned teams around everywhere he went, and I think this is his year. They need to get it in gear. So I think he will really be focused to get that done. I think the real key for Auburn is quarterback play. If we have C-grade quarterback play like we had last year, I think it could be a long night. But if the new transfer in from Oklahoma has a good game, he gets protection, I think Auburn could win this. It might be sloppy, but hey, if you get out of Texas with a W week 1, you have done good. I'm going to give the nod to the Auburn Tigers by about 8 points. Guys, thank you so much for those picks. We're going to take another break, and we will be right back to talk about a few other schools that haven't made the cut yet on the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Another staff meeting, another push for cross-selling, another awkward silence. Then Banker Bounty happened. The first referral platform made just for banks. One app that empowers every employee, not just your top producers, to bring in business. No more spreadsheets, no more silos, just clarity, culture, and actual growth in real time. Banker Bounty fixes more than your referral program. It fixes your momentum. Go to bankerbounty.com, watch the video, book your free demo. Banker Bounty. Create, manage, and track referrals in real time.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
When you need urgent care, Southern Immediate Care is here for you. Illness doesn't follow a 9-to-5 schedule, so we offer support 7 days a week at convenient locations throughout Birmingham and Northeast Alabama, dedicated to serving all ages from children to adults. Southern Immediate Care offers occupational medicine services, including DOT physicals and testing. At Southern Immediate Care, your health is our top priority. Visit southernimmediatecare.com or call 205-409-2794.
You're back. It is the Tailgate Tailgate Show. It is the not quite ready for primetime pickers. I am Bill Bubba Bussey, your host. And gentlemen, we've been running through the schedule. I do have to ask you about what I consider my home team, since I still work there, the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, coming off of a championship season in Conference USA. They travel to Central Florida. Now, talk about another interesting story. You've got Scott Frost, who carried UCF to heights they had never seen, went to Nebraska, didn't really work out. He's back home. We have Charles Kelly, who has 2 national championship rings. He just came from Auburn. He is now the head Gamecock. They're playing in Orlando. How do you see this shaking out? Hunter, I go to you.
Okay. I think if you look at Jack State's track record when it comes to these out-of-conference big-time games, Florida State, I think, is the most recent example. It would not shock me in the slightest if they upset UCF on the road. It would not shock me at all. Jack State is mean. They will take your head off. They're not afraid to. You've told me that several times, Dad, that do not let them sneak up on you because they will knock you out cold. And I think that is exactly what will happen in Central Florida.
The Gamecocks will take Mickey Mouse and body slam him if they need to. Okay, I want to tell you, One player from Calhoun County could whoop two from Central Florida anytime. Brad, I go to you. How do you see it shaking out?
Yeah, I feel like after that Calhoun reference coming to me was intentional. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Us Calhoun County guys can do it.
Yeah, and Brad is one, see?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Representing the 1-1. You know what? Here's what I want to happen. I want Charles Kelly and Jack State to go to Orlando and win that game to start the season. And here's why I think it could happen. Gus Malzahn, all of his positive attributes as a head coach, as a leader of young men, and you can't really get around that he hasn't recruited offensive linemen very well during his time as a head coach. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the big issue at UCF is they didn't have the guys up front to get the job done. Now, recruiting services, rankings head-to-head on the lines of scrimmage, UCF may still have an advantage there, but I think it's close. I don't think that's a runaway win for UCF. And Charles Kelly, I can tell you from experience, getting to know him a little bit, being around him, watching him coach, hearing him talk, Jack State players will play with unrivaled passion and belief. They'll play for each other. They'll play inspired football. They'll play with attention to detail. Auburn played more freshmen than anybody else in the country last year on defense, and the secondary was one of the best in the country. He coached the secondary. I love Charles Kelly as the head coach at Jack State. I think that program is going to do very well with him in that leadership role. I don't know that I would actually objectively pick them to win this game, but I sure wouldn't be shocked if they did it for those reasons.
Nathan?
I feel like logically I should lean UCF, but Jack State has proven time and time again, not just recently, but really over the last 10 years or so, they're capable of beating anyone they step on the field with. I watched them almost beat Auburn in 2015, I believe it was.
Yep.
And coming off the Conference USA championship and not just winning it, but winning it the way that they won it, 52-10 or 52-12, something like that. I mean, just an explosive performance from Jack State. I'm going to go Jack State. I think Jack State is going to be feeling it, and for good reason. I don't trust UCF at all. And I think the Gamecocks are going to get it done.
Hunter, let's see. Who have we left out? Is it me? I've lost my place in the rotation here. I'm sorry.
It's you.
Well, I will say this. I think we all are probably a little bit biased because of our connection to Jack State. I think most of the national pickers are going to give Scott Frost a big, happy homecoming at Central Florida and look for big things out of him. But I will say this. Jack State loves this role of being a Cinderella. They love the role of coming in with nothing to lose. And Charles Kelly, getting to know him better, looking at some of the practice, some pretty good athletes. And I think we may have forgotten the Kentucky quarterback transferred to Auburn. And I think he is going to be a real weapon for them on offense. I'm going to go with the upset. The checks are still clearing. The Jack State Gamecocks over UCF. And I've got to look at it that way. Guys, we're about out of time. I appreciate you taking time to do this. We'll go around the horn here again for any closing comments on this first ever edition of the Tailgate Tailgate Show. Hunter, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. Just this whole podcast genre that you've taken a part of recently with Bubba on the Lake, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm a big sports fan. You've watched me grow up with apparently a son that I don't know that a brother that I don't know that I have.
Let me clear those rumors up. You're the only one. That was a joke.
Okay, all right.
Your mom will be listening to this.
Yeah. But you know how much I love sports, and I'm consistently watching Sports Center or keeping up with anything on X regarding sports, and I'm excited about this venture, especially it's different when it's somebody else, but when you're doing it with your dad, that's a whole different thing. So I'm excited.
Wow, you're really, really trying to get that Disney trip, aren't you?
A little bit. Yeah.
Nathan, we go to you. Closing comments.
Yeah, I'll just kind of echo what Hunter said. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. And I think we've been kind of blessed with this slate of week 1 games. It's going to be fun to watch just across the board. We're going to have to get the barbecue grill fired up and just have a good time. But Texas and Ohio State, in terms of our sort of game rundown, I think that's the one that I'm going to be the most locked in on. I am curious to see what Arch does. And it's just going to be such a fun matchup, the defending national champs against kind of the biggest, most hyped up player in the country, so to speak. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Brad Law, your career hanging in the balance. What do you say?
Well, I've only wanted to do a show with Bubba for 29 years, and I'll tell you, it's finally happened, and it was everything that I dreamed that it would be for 3 decades. No, closing thoughts on the season. Going to be a great year. College football is changing and has changed, but it's still very popular. And football on a Friday night is a crime and a sin, and shouldn't be allowed. Hey, that's where we are. So we're gonna be thankful for what we have, not bitter about what we don't, and enjoy every single weekend.
Brad, we appreciate you joining us as the guest picker this week. I will say this. This has been an idea we have toyed with for a long time. As Hunter was mentioned, just the fact of doing podcast and the fact we've been pushed into that. And we have no geofencing. The world is our playground, and I think it's a great format. I mean, to be able to do this and get it to people the way we're getting it to them was absolutely unconceivable just a few years ago. And here we are talking to hundreds, if not thousands. Hopefully it'll be thousands of people who are headed to ball games, who can chime in and agree, disagree. And I'm excited about where it can go. The features we can do, the shows we could possibly do from a parking lot at some point in time. We'll have to kind of grow with it and see. But I'm very excited about it. And I think we have, we may not have the greatest lineup of ball games we've ever had for week number 1. Texas and Ohio State 1 and 2 certainly is the headline game, but we have all these other great storylines, with the Beamer Ball, with Scott Frost coming back, Charles Kelly, the convicts and the Catholics renewing their rivalry. I mean, it is an absolute great weekend for as sideline stories. So we're looking forward to it. We'll see how all of these come out. We'll grade ourselves next time, and we'll be here to pick them again on the Tailgate Tailgate Show, and we hope that you will join us. Love you. Be good. God loves you. We do too. Take care.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
You've been listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, a production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees, all rights reserved. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe to the show and all social media. Contact information is on our website at thetailgatetailgateshow.com. Until next time, may your coals stay hot and your tent stay dry.